I'm high level, bro. I see when you're open. You don't even know you're open. Be ready for me, bro. Trust me.
D'Angelo Russell is one of the more interesting players in the NBA for me, whose career depends so much on context and who's viewing it at any given moment. He's currently less than a bench player in his 10th season with the Dallas Mavericks, and at times unable to even remove his warm-ups with half his team out because of injuries. It's so bad that he's not even enthused to participate in celebrating his teammates during games because he's buried so deep on the bench for Jason Kidd's Maverick team. He's a former second overall pick, former All-Star, coming off averaging 18 and 6 just 2 seasons ago, having his worst year by far. So I can't help but ask, what happened or what's happening with D'Angelo Russell? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. D'Angelo Russell is a 6'4" point guard from Louisville, Kentucky who has come a long way from the "he didn't even stretch though" meme and was viewed as a special talent long before he reached the NBA. He transferred to Montverde Academy during his sophomore year of high school, joining a loaded powerhouse but still standing out with his confidence, shooting range, and natural feel for the game. He wasn't the most explosive athlete in his class, but his skill, creativity, and composure made him one of the top guards in the country. He finished as a McDonald's All-American and consensus 5-star recruit, with scouts already projecting him as a future NBA lead guard. Russell committed to Ohio State and immediately became the focal point of the offense. As a freshman, he averaged 19.3 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 5 assists, shot over 40% from 3, led the Big Ten in scoring, and won Big Ten Freshman of the Year. He scored at all 3 levels, created for others, and played with pace well beyond his age, showing poise that made him look NBA ready. By the 2015 NBA draft, Russell was viewed as one of the safest and most polished prospects in the class, with real talk of him going first overall. The Lakers selected him second, believing he could carry the franchise into the post-Kobe era. The hype wasn't manufactured, it was earned, but in Los Angeles, it wouldn't last long. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications to stay on top of everything Stunted Growth has to offer. Stunt number 1, having to leave a great situation. The first real growth stunt in D'Angelo Russell's career happened the moment he was forced to leave the one place that finally made sense for him, Brooklyn. By the 2018-19 season, Russell had found something rare in the NBA, a team built around him with his identity. The Nets gave him the ball, the keys, and the trust to lead. He wasn't looking over his shoulders, wasn't trying to fit next to a superstar, and wasn't playing for a franchise obsessed with timelines. That freedom mattered. Russell averaged 21 points and 7 assists, made his first and would-be only All-Star team, and led Brooklyn to the playoffs with a roster nobody expected to win anything. For the first time since he was drafted, his confidence, personality, and game were fully aligned. Then everything changed. Brooklyn's front office made the decision that would quietly derail Russell's trajectory and start a cannonball dive for his opportunity to ever be what he was ever again. They chose Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant over him. From a business standpoint, it made sense. From a developmental standpoint for Russell, he was traded to Golden State in a sign and trade, immediately going from the guy to the placeholder next to a star. And that's the pattern that would follow him for the rest of his career. In Golden State, he put up numbers, but the identity was gone. The Warriors weren't his team. He was traded again after 33 games to Minnesota, where he reunited with Karl Anthony Towns, but the team never fully committed to him as the long-term answer, and Anthony Edwards' rise made his role shrink again. When he returned to the Lakers, he was productive, but never trusted, constantly benched in playoff moments, and quietly blamed when things went wrong, next to not just another big star, but the biggest star in basketball in LeBron James. Once Russell lost Brooklyn, he lost the last place that let him be himself. Since then, he's been a movable piece, not a foundation, a talented guard teams use but never fully build around. And that's when the yo-yo career really began. Stunt number 2, the forever co-star. Once D'Angelo Russell lost Brooklyn, he lost his status as the guy. From that point forward, his career quietly shifted into a role he never escaped, the co-star who could score but never lead. In Golden State, Russell averaged over 23 points per game, but nobody believed in it. Every game he played felt temporary, every night felt like an audition, and every mistake reinforced the idea that he wasn't part of the long-term vision. He wasn't running the franchise, he was just there, waiting for his next opportunity. Minnesota was supposed to be that, was supposed to be different. He signed a long-term deal and finally had stability again, but even there, Russell was never the engine. D'Lo went from lead guard to secondary option next to Anthony Edwards, then to a trade piece once the team decided defense and athleticism mattered more than rhythm scoring. He wasn't bad, he was replaceable. His return to the Lakers only cemented that label. He put up solid numbers, had big nights, and even saved stretches of the Lakers season with shot making. But when the games mattered most, he was the first to lose minutes. Playoff series exposed his defensive limitations, and his leash got shorter every round, every mistake. No matter how many points he scored, the trust was never there. Coaches didn't close with him, fans never fully believed in him, and the organization treated him once again like his days were numbered. That's the trap of becoming a forever co-star. Once the league decides you're not the centerpiece, you're always playing next to someone else's timeline, someone else's priorities, and someone else's mistakes. Russell's career didn't collapse, it slowly narrowed, and every stop after Brooklyn made it harder for him to ever be seen as that guy again. Stunt number 3, when the league stops needing you. This stage of D'Angelo Russell's career hurts to watch, not just because the league has moved on, but because he never gave it a reason to stay patient with him. In Dallas, Russell isn't fighting for minutes, he isn't competing for a role, he's simply there. Nights go by where he never even removes his warm-ups, even when half the roster is injured. Blowouts come and go, and he still doesn't touch the floor. And his body language is telling the story. No engagement, no energy, no visible leadership. And that part matters because for Russell, leadership has been a question mark for nearly his entire career, dating back to the Nick Young situation in Los Angeles that quietly followed him from locker room to locker room. Fair or not, that moment shaped how teams viewed him. But this isn't just about perception anymore, it's performance. Russell's inconsistencies finally caught up to him. On some nights, the shot still falls. On others, he disappears completely. He's never been an elite athlete, never a downhill guard, and never someone who collapses defenses by force. His craft has always depended on rhythm, timing, and confidence, and once that's disrupted, there's no backup gear. In today's NBA, guards are expected to defend, make quick decisions, shoot efficiently off the catch, and impact games without dominating the ball. Russell struggles in every one of those areas when his usage drops. The margin for error is gone. Once a player becomes unreliable night to night, coaches stop trusting you. Once they stop trusting you, you stop closing games. And once you stop closing games, you stop playing, and younger guys come in and take over. Younger guards bring energy, defensive guards bring value. Russell brings questions, and at this point in his career, questions are enough to push him to the end of the bench or not see minutes at all, just waiting to be let go. That's how careers end now, not with injuries, not with headlines, but with silence. And for D'Angelo Russell, that silence is as much about what he never became as it is about what the league no longer needs. All in all, the silence around D'Angelo Russell is the loudest part of his story. There's no announcement, no controversy, no clear ending, just limited opportunities. For a former second overall pick, that's a tough way for things to fade. But his career isn't the failure people make it out to be. Russell was an NBA All-Star, led his team to the playoffs, and averaged over 20 points a game at his peak. He also carved out a decade-long career in the league, and that matters. Most players never reach that height. The problem is, the ending has been so bad that it masks everything he's done prior. D'Angelo Russell didn't disappear because he couldn't play. He disappeared because he never fully evolved as the league changed. And in today's NBA, standing still is enough to push you aside. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.